What is going on out there, peeps? All right, man, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the markets, very, very interesting things are happening. I just want to bring it to your attention first thing in the morning, just so you are aware of it, all right? Because we're going to get into that here in just a second. All right, you guys, if you're thinking about buying precious metals, give a consideration to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is in the description. If you are a first time buyer and you spend more than $100 buying precious metals, use promo code PIMPY, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Trust me, you want to get it. Lo and behold, I am restored back onto Twitter. It was a 12-hour punishment. They stuck me in timeout. They don't like me talking about what's going on. Actually, the last few videos that I did on this election have been some of my, so far, highest viewed videos. That's for sure, because there's a lot of very useful information in there. But nonetheless, I am up on Twitter. LBRY, you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's LBRY. It's in my link. It's just like YouTube, but they actually pay even the viewers. I guess you earn cryptos. I know we do just for putting content on there, but you can earn cryptos for watching the videos. So, there's nothing wrong with getting paid to watch videos. That's something you might take in consideration to check it out. The link is in the description. It could be another small form of income. You're not going to get paid tons of money unless you watch tons of videos. I mean, they pay like, 2 to 3 cents per video. If you just let it sit there and it keeps adding up, you never know. But I like the way their platform is. There's no censoring. They don't remove your videos. I mean, they're pretty good. I like it. But nonetheless, they also encourage us to stay on YouTube. They don't want us to leave YouTube, which is unique. So nonetheless, all the different platforms that I belong, the links are in the description. So come on over there and join me if you'd like. All right, so here's what's going on. As you can see, Bitcoin is still going up. And not only that, look at Ethereum. So remember, it's not so much about the money. It's not so much about the change, which is nice, but I always pay attention to the percentage of change. So this is up 6% and that's up 2%. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Look, last night and today still, both have hit their 52-week high. So they're continuing to climb at a pretty healthy pace. Oh, wow, look at XRP starting to make a small move. They're up to 31 cents. Congratulations, finally. Litecoin, whoa, what happened here, huh? 81.90. Litecoin's making a move as well. Okay, so you guys in XLM, some of you guys talk about XLM. It doesn't move very much, but it's almost up to just above 8.5 cents. All right, but the two biggies right now are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's a reason for that. I did a video and I told you guys I have a feeling I know what's actually going on with Bitcoin. People that have a lot of money, I think, are moving into Bitcoin as a way to protect their money from a possible bail-in. And because it's if you think about it, it would be exempt from a bail-in. As far as we know, I can't think of why they would be included in a bail-in. I just find that hard to believe. There's too many big corporations that are in these. So if somebody said, "Hey, Pimpy, what about just holding your money just in case?" So here's what I want to say about, and this is with any investments. All right, you guys, any investments. Keep in mind, there's always some form of risk, no matter what you invest in. Some of them have a much lower risk, and some of them have a much higher risk. As far as you could lose money. In other words, you know what I mean. So, for me, like gold and silver is very low risk. It's always in demand. It has gradually gone up over time, regardless. So, that to me, that's not I mean, still it's a risk, but it's not a very big risk at all. To me, it's the safest of all investments. Uh, Cryptocurrencies, again, I've always been weary of these, just because there's nothing that I know. I did crypto. People always try to come and tell me, yeah, it's back. No, 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 it's not. It's a digital currency. A bug in a software can erase everything. You could be hacked. That's why you guys should take it offline, by the way. There's always something that can happen anytime you're dealing with something that's computerized, period. You know what I mean? So because of that, and there's nothing backing it up. These are no better to me than fiat currencies. Somebody, I think they're talking about gold-backed cryptocurrencies. But the thing is, you would have to be, to convince me, you'd have to find a way to prove that the number of cryptocurrencies that you said you created will never be increased. So this way, then it keeps its value. Um, you know, but just right now, what I think is happening again, you guys, Ethereum has projects. There's a lot of use cases for what they're doing. To me, is way more projects out there than any other cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, some of the people that help design Bitcoin are now working on projects with Ethereum. So, that's the one I like the most. Again, I think what you're seeing here is, remember that graph I showed you? If you guys missed it, go back a couple of videos. I showed you a graph how a Bitcoin reacts. When it hit certain plateaus, it tends to shoot up kind of quick. So it was like once it got to like from 14,000 to 15, the graph I showed you, it spent like 30 something days in a $15,000 range. Once it got up into the $16,000 range, it only spent like 10 days there. Then once it got to the $17,000 range, it was only there a couple days. Once it got to the $18,000 range, it was only there a couple days. And in other words, they move up fairly quick. Now, to me, that concerns me. When you see it go up as fast, it usually comes down just as fast, and that's what happened in 2017. But once again, we're seeing that same pattern. Once it got to around 14,000, it kind of teetered there for a little bit. And, then eventually got up to 15,000. Then, it's been like a week and a half there, then got to 16,000. Once it got to 16,000, it's not been spending very much time at each of these different levels. Once it got to 16, it quickly got to 17. Once it got to 17, what are we, 3 days later, and we're already at $18,600. That's within a couple of days, and already it's heading towards 19. So remember that graph I showed you, that once this thing starts going up, it usually flies up. All right. And so again, that type of thing worries me. The other thing I don't like is the fact that most of these altcoins respond to whatever Bitcoin is doing. So it's almost like they're pegged together. I don't like that. I would like to see its coin moving independently. Unfortunately, when the market moves, they all go at the same time, whether they're going up or going down. It doesn't give me a lot of faith in any of these coins, for that matter, when you see that kind of thing. So like up here, let's take a look at the markets real quick over here. So like here, all right, so look at NASDAQ's green, but Dow's red, S&P's red, Russell's red. Do you see what I'm saying? So you want to see them work independently is what you want to see. All right. That should be the same for cryptocurrencies. If Bitcoin's going up, there needs to be a reason for it. All right. That doesn't mean the rest of these people should be going green because Bitcoin's going green. They would have to have their own reason for going green. Does that make sense? All right. So the fact that they all work together, it tells me that these things are not that reliable, because that means everybody that's invested in these other cryptocurrencies, that means your entire investment is relying on what the hell's going on with Bitcoin. And that's not what I would want. I don't feel good about that. But having said that, again, I keep telling you guys, I feel like there's an opportunity. There's a window of opportunity in which you can make money on this. And we are in that window right now. So I'm monitoring it. But people go, what do you buy? Well, everybody knows I'm Ethereum. I buy a lot of Ethereum, although I do have some Bitcoin. But I went into when XRP was moving up last time, I did move some money in there. It was one of those, well, you never know. But, after I think about what XRP is doing, to me, they're just heading towards being more of a used for commercial purposes from bank to bank. I understand they're talking about doing other things, but I don't see anything outside of maybe bank to bank transactions. So at the best, in my opinion, I think the best it can ever do is reach $1 and become some type of stable coin for the banking industry. Other than that, that's just my opinion. I'm sure there's people out there. Everybody's high on XRP, but there's nothing about it that impressed me. I understand that they're talking to banks and they're being used, but again, what other things are they able to give to you? When you see billionaires, hedge funds, pension funds moving into gold and silver as well as Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, in my opinion, is a safe haven for people that are concerned about a possible bail-in. So what you're seeing is these people that have pension funds or they have hedge funds or these really super rich people are doing this. A good chunk of their money, they usually tell you 5 to 10% of your investment, but they're not. That's not true at all. Most of them now are between 20 to 25% of their portfolio is holding on to physical gold and silver. That's where they are right now. And they do have money into cryptocurrencies, and most all of them are into Bitcoin. So there's no doubt about that. Again, I think what they're doing is they see something's coming up. No matter who gets in office, something's definitely coming up. The last thing you want to do is be holding millions of dollars in your bank account. All of a sudden a bail-in comes, bam, they take all your money. You know what I mean? That's not good. So I think what you're seeing is a lot of people, because there's so much talk right now. Right now there's a lot of talk about a bail-in again. So just to be on the safe side, now I know they're going, "Why you're FDIC insured?" Here's again, FDIC used to be 250,000, not anymore. It's 200,000. And if you go to their website, they tell you how much money they have in their fund to protect people. And the first thing they do is insure the derivatives before it gets to the customers. So the derivatives, way higher debt than the people that are going to lose their money. In other words, the FDIC isn't going to do crap for you. You'll get nothing. Okay, by the time they pay out everybody, you'll get nothing. Okay, so I don't trust it. And I don't think a lot of other people do. Look at this, already up to 18,700. I told you, once it got to around the 16,000 plateau, I showed you that graph, then the next levels go quickly, and it looks like it's happening. They keep trying to bring the price down, but it's not working. The same with Ethereum, had a great, look at this, a one-day chart, but Ethereum is moving good. So if you guys are thinking about buying cryptocurrencies, down below underneath this video, there's a link. Just follow it. It takes you to where you can set up to buy cryptocurrencies. It's a really user-friendly platform. And you just sign up. It's free to do so. And then you get $10 just for following the link. Once you're established in there, if you scroll down where it says earn cryptocurrencies, you can earn up to like $100 worth of free cryptocurrencies just by watching a couple of videos that are like a minute or 2 minutes long. So it's really easy to do. So again, the link is down in the description. Alrighty, you guys. So I think this is what's happening is people are moving over here in anticipation of a bail-in. There's another thing I'm thinking as well, and I told you guys about this. Also, I think what's happening is like a bait and switch sort of thing. Everybody knows right now precious metals are really scarce, very scarce. Okay? They've been holding it very horizontal, the values. So it's not really going up that much. It's not going down. There's a lot of things that should have happened. So in talking to and watching this, these so-called experts, well, they're not so-called, they are experts, but you know what I mean? Listening to the experts talk about gold and silver, there's been a lot of time that's passed where several events should have caused silver and gold to really take off by now. So you could tell when you look at what they're doing to manipulate the market, they are struggling to hold the market down, which we anticipated. But even then, some of these events, some things should have happened by now. I mean, last July, we started to see a move. Gold and silver really started to move up. It was awesome. We got into about August. It started to just level out. September came, still kind of where it was. We saw that quick little drop. But we knew there was events that were happening in October. There were events that were happening in November that these prices should have went up. But again, when you look at what they're doing and to manipulate the market to hold it down, it's almost to the point now where it's not working. It's just not working. And now we got December coming up. And the thing about December is there's a lot of contracts that are coming due in which people most likely are going to take physical possession of their precious metals to the point where the comics now is talking about blacklisting anybody who tries to do that, which is, you don't understand. They're your customers and you're saying, hey, come to me. They go to you and then you tell them they can't take their own purchase products. I mean, that doesn't make sense. So nonetheless, again, that could cause a huge strain on the market. They're already scarce now. That's the thing I'm talking about, this old bait and switch. Don't be surprised if what they're not doing is, people know that gold and silver prices have been kind of boring. They haven't really gone up. They haven't really gone down. Very small, within 20%, very small swings, which is normal. So it's horizontal. You know what I mean? There's not, it's boring. So what happens is you get a lot of new investors that come into this market. You know, they like the excitement, they like the rush. So what's happening is gold and silver is just running even. It's not going up. It's not really going down. To a lot of people, they get bored with it. They don't realize that that's not what it's for. Okay, this is a long-term thing. So they see all the excitement in cryptocurrencies and like, man, I want some of that excitement. So they make the mistake of selling, trying to time the market. So they sell their precious metals and they move into cryptocurrencies. And I think that's what you're seeing happen is you get a lot of these newbies or speculators that don't know what they're doing, and they start parting with their precious metals. Why? Because they see this. This is going up like crazy. What did? We had 18,000 the day before yesterday, and it's almost at 19. Again, every time you see a pull back a little bit, that's people just they're cashing in and getting some profits is what they're doing on their investment, and they leave the coins in there, some other coins, and just continue to let it ride out. But just in case it drops out, they'll cash in a little bit here and there and grab, like day traders. So let's say it starts out at 18,200 this morning. They'll pump in their $10,000 worth, sit there and wait. Gets up by the end of the day, you get up around 19,000. They don't care if it's going to continue going up or not. They'll just sell. And what that does is it causes the coins to react to that. So they'll start to drop down because everybody's cashing in. So nonetheless, there's two things I think are going on. I think people are coming over to Bitcoins, these big people, these whales, pension funds and all them. I think they're putting a portion in their money into Bitcoin as a way to protect it from any type of billing, is what I think is happening. Also, the other part of this, I think people who are gold and silver investors, these bigger banks and stuff like that, are holding and manipulating the price of gold and silver and then causing and pumping cryptocurrencies to try to see if they can get people to sell their precious metals and move over to cryptocurrencies, so that they can gobble up as much of the precious metals as possible. So be careful with that. So here's what I want to say about this, because there's a lot of questions. This is just my opinion only, of course. And that is, if you have any type of investments, if you're looking at it every day, you're just going to go crazy. So if you're a person who goes, well, I kind of like them both, they're good. What you should do is, if you have discretionary funds, never spend money that you can't afford. You know what I mean? If you're barely getting by and you can't pay, or you could barely pay your bills, you got to be careful. You don't want to go, well, I can, pay partial payment on my bills. Or, don't start doing that, because once you go down that path, you get stuck in a vicious cycle. All right. So if you have discretionary funds, money that after all your bills are paid and you have enough food in the house and the whole 9 yards, gas to get to work, and you say, hey, I have $20, $50, $100 left over. That's the money I'm talking about, discretionary funds. So anytime you're investing, what you should tell yourself is this. This is a good suggestion. Anytime you're investing, whatever it is you're investing in, you have to tell yourself this. The money that I'm putting into this investment, if I lose every penny of it, how is it going to affect my life? Is it going to cause me to be homeless? Is it going to cause me to, you know what I mean? What happens if that money disappears? If you say to yourself, well, nothing. I mean, I'm just be back to square one. I still could pay my bills. I still can, get gas. I'm still getting fed. That's the money I'm talking about. So that money there, and if whatever you're investing in, if you told yourself if it drops down to zero, it wouldn't harm you either way, then that's fine. Then invest. So tell yourself this. To me, the safest bet is precious metals. It always has been. It always has been throughout 6,000 years of history. So precious metals, I set a goal on all of these. All right. Once I hit my goal, I've been, except for if I'm being serious, I set a goal for a silver, but I'm way past it. That's the one goal I continue to break. As far as the amount that I want, I decided I don't have a limit on silver. I'll just continue to pump my money that I have into silver. Okay, especially since the ratio between gold and silver is where it is. But nonetheless, you guys, so if you want to mix them up, there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's a window of opportunity in which you can make some money, but I'm very weary about what's going on with the precious metals market and the cryptos. I think that's what you're seeing happen. It's a combination of two things. People come in here to protect themselves from a bail-in. Also, I think people might be trying to trap people into partying with their gold and silver and bail out and run over to cryptocurrencies. And once it gets to a certain point, don't be surprised if you don't see them dump all the cryptocurrencies and immediately run over and pick up on a lot of precious metals. Okay. Again, that's just my opinion. It's something I'm watching for. But look, again, Bitcoin's doing good. It's rising. They are, look at, it's above its 52 week. It just broke its 52 week high again right now. And Ethereum's about to break it too. So they're continuing to go up. The pace is very interesting. I think Bitcoin is going up way too fast. Like I said, what goes up really quick usually comes down really quick. So keep an eye on it. If these markets are going to drop, you're usually going to see them in the dead of night when you're sleeping. You'll see them drop. By the time you wake up, you're like, what the hell just happened? So, you have to be careful with that. There's ways you can set, for you more savvy people that know something about stock, there's a way on cryptocurrencies. If you go over to something like Coinbase Pro, you can set your computer up in this system and tell it that if Bitcoin drops to this level, sell all of it so you don't continue to gain loss. That makes sense? Or not gain loss, yeah. Continue to lose value. So let's say you're in there right now, you see it's at $18,700, almost $18,800. You can set it up in there a certain way, and I don't know how to do it, but other people do. You can set it up and tell your in the system. You can tell on your portfolio when it comes to Bitcoin, it's at $18,700. If it gets below $18,400, sell a percentage of it, sell half of it, or sell all of it, so that you don't continue to lose money as it drops down. You can also set it to say, if it reaches this much, then buy X amount, and it'll do it automatically. So, those are things you could do, but you have to be good at it. And if you're not careful and you don't watch it, you can also lose money because you're not paying attention to what your settings are. All right. So in other words, if you set this up to sell everything or a part of or half of, when it gets down to 18,400, and let's say it does that and it drops down to $18,389, and you're like, cool, and it sells it all and you feel safe. And then all of a sudden, it starts going back up and up and up, and you didn't set it to rebuy, you can miss out on the gains. Or what could happen if you're not paying attention is, let's say you set it at 18,400 to sell. All of a sudden it keeps climbing, gets up to about 25,000, but you forgot to readjust this. And then all of a sudden it goes from 25 to 24 to 23 to 22. You see, you'll continue to lose all that money because you didn't adjust this to move from 18,400. Now it's up to 25,000. You can set it saying, hey, it's at 25,000, but if it drops down to 24,600, sell then. You see what I mean? You have to be able to pay attention to those things that you set. All right, you guys, so it's looking really good. The market's looking good. Precious metals still kind of just running horizontal. Man, there's so many things that have passed that should have already allowed the golden metal to take off. They are being seriously manipulated and held down, even worse than before. But we watch what's going on in the comics. There's a lot happening. A lot of this is still pending on the election results, so we'll see what happens. So that's it for now, you guys. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later.